Hello, good evening. I would like you welcome in the series with 1 year with the Ramchal, and the portion is Kedoshim. וידבר השם אל משה לאמור, and God spoke into Moses saying, דבר אל כל עדת בני ישראל, ואמרת לכם, קדושים תהיו, כי קדוש אני השם אלוהיכם. Speaking to all the congregation of the children of Israel and say unto them, you shall be holy for the God I'm holy. So let's begin with the notion that everything is decided, it's coming from the mind, that it is what determines. It can be a rational decision in our end that we choose which direction we tend towards and what thoughts revolve in our minds. So we can choose on to focus on obstacles or negativity if we want, but that is the representing the opposite side opponent. And the other solution, based on the name of the Kedoshim, is to focus on sanctity and positivity. The question is which energy to want to identify with ourselves. Do we now question ourselves towards negativity or positivity to be focused? Which one? So negativity and obstacles are or constructive and supporting thoughts. Which thoughts do we generally have? To move toward sanctity, we need to get closer to the Torah and the mitzvot, definitely. So according to Chazal, this is the path and this is the essence of Kedusha and sanctity itself. והתקדשתם והייתם קדושים כי אני השם אלוהיכם. Sanctify yourself therefore and be ye holy, for I am God your God. Man was created in the image of God, B'Tselem Elokim. So meaning God's purpose that we should regard ourselves as perfect individuals. And this is the way how we created. Although perfection resides within us, we may find negative layers in various external aspects that is leading us towards different directions. So it is important to respect ourselves since we are perfect, if we acknowledge that, and we are the reflections of the divine, Tzelem Elokim, and the one who doesn't value itself on the spiritual verse radiates to others that they are on the little that had no value, which doesn't yield any good, basically. The mitzvah extent is not adequately respecting others. This is either acknowledging or disregarding the divine creation. In the most extreme case, not believing in our own perfections, meaning, and not recognizing divine creation. There is no faith in the divine. So healthy self-confidence allows us to acknowledge the divine creation, while excessive confidence can lead us to selfish and negative directions. So in the Jewish people on Mount Sinai drew close to the Creator, committing themselves to an eternal bond. It is like a spouse relationship. So what does each part have to is giving into this relationship? So on one hand, the Jewish people have to observe the mitzvot and the Torah, while the Creator is protects the people and spiritually nourishing them. So the Jewish soul is closely connected to the divine and through to its sanctity. This potential lies within us, and it is up to us whether we utilize or not. So the divine doesn't want us to fulfill the mitzvot with pain, suffering, and deprivation. So which is only bring us closer to sanctity, but rather with joy, contentment, and voluntarism that reaching us to sanctity. Not only do we have to decide whether like we want this sanctity or not, there is another important factor that we haven't thought. The question is how much intensely do we want to bring the sanctity into the this idea. So we must desire, we must cling strongly to the holiness, to the Kedusha, because the negative forces are continuously working hard to disrupt our efforts and all these bonds that we have. So we strongly desire to connect with sanctity, with the divine, and therefore, what are we willing to do? So let's now allow the connection to be broken. So we really have to want it. It is said that that our material situation in the earthly world is a kind of state and imprint from the previous life, based on the decisions we made and how much we were able to realize sanctity in our life then. So the way we behaved in our previous life will resolve the circumstances available in this lifetime. So there is a connection. Of course, our individual efforts can improve this kind of circumstances. This is the manifestation of the free will. So there is no predestination, only the free will. So we must start from the promise that the Creator always gives. Okay, giving Hesed. It is the ultimate giver. The question is how much can we imitate this ability of giving to others like the Creator? So how generous are we towards the other fellow? So not only we are talking about material giving things, it is possible to help others with our other with the knowledge, with other abilities that we can offer. But in this case, let's consider a material giving right now. So, and we are going to talk poverty and wealth are also always opportunities to learn and to grow. So the divine never abandons anyone. Even poverty has basically a purpose in our lives. So we can learn something that we didn't handle well in the previous lives. So that's why we return to the learning stage, and we have to master these things. So wealth is also a measure, okay, on the other side, how we behave and when we are in this position. Perhaps then we face a greater challenges if we are wealthy. So how do we meet everything then? Wealth comes with a greater responsibility. So, and what is Gmilut Hasadim of giving to the poor? So the poor must be accessible to the rich person that would like to give to them. And the rich person must also have to make this action to give donations to the poor. So both must be fulfilled simultaneously for this connection is to be established. And תורתם את הקציר, ארצכם לא תכלת פאת שדה, לקצור ולקט קצירך לא תלקט. And when you have the harvest of your land, you shall not wholly reap the corner of the field, neither shall do gather the gleaning of the harvest. Why must we ensure basically an area for the poor people to collect for themselves? Pe'at Sadeh, reap of the corner. Okay, the root of the word pe'ah, it's literally meaning corner, and the value of it 86, just like the value of Elohim, that is also 86. So these two words have equivalent meanings. There is a correspondence between them. The attribute of the divine is a judgment. If someone is born poor in this world, it means that their previous life they did something that now requires this type of correction of being poor. This is their tikkun, their correction, and they have to learn out of it. So they receive the judgment of the divine to grow. They can pick up their sustenance from the corner of the field. וכרמך לא תולל, ופרת כרמך לא תלקט, לעוני, להגר תעזוב אותם, אני השם אלוהיכם. You shall not glean the vineyard, neither shall you gather the fallen fruit of the vineyard, you shall leave them for the poor and for the stranger. I am your God. We must always leave room for others. This corresponds to the attribute of Hesed, the kindness that we are giving. So let us ourselves to be generous. Our own opportunities also come from the divine. So every opportunities come from this if we are thinking from the Creator. Even the wealthy person that has reached this level only because the divine has granted it to him. So everything is from the source that the divine has given. So this is why it is emphasized here. Ani Hashem Elokecha, I'm God. So the Yud Kei Vav Kei, one of the names of the Creator, encompass the attributes of Hesed. This is how it's related. Kindness by Elohim represent the attribute of Din, judgment. So these two extremes are in one sentence. By giving, we basically unify the extreme of the divine two names, Hesed and Din. So the wealthy person has wealth to give, an opportunity to help others. The poor will find remnants of the corners of the field, what will be right for him or her. לא תלך רכיל בעמך, לא תעמוד על דם רעך, אני השם. You shall not go up and down as a telaber among the people, neither shalt you stay idly by the blood of their neighbor. I am the God. One who witnesses, basically, a peril of the fellow human fails to do everything in their power to save them, is deemed among us guilty as if they had directly participating in the loss of killing them, of killing loss of their lives. Whether we truly um, had this opportunity to save the individuals, only we ourselves and the creator, the one who knows. If basically a third party observes this, they cannot accurately assess our capability to save someone. This is why it is important that as a consequence, only the eternal one, the creator, can decree this punishment for why we didn't do anything about saving other people's life. Okay. It is crucial for us to consider the steps we take to preserve the lives of others and how willing are we to sacrifice ourselves in such situations. So, how we behave is noticed by others. Okay, and to our attitudes, thoughts, and all the actions that we demonstrate, the extent to our commitment and selflessness towards our companions. In a broader sense, this also can serve as a measure of how others judge us as a Jewish souls. If there is a discord within the Jewish people, other nations who do not favor Jewish people may consider it to raise against them. So they observe when our nation oneness. This is relevant in our times also. And also even today it is relevant, even like few thousand years ago it was also has the same relevance. לא תשנא את אחיך בלבבך, הוכיח תוכיח את עמיתך, ולא תשא עליו חטא. You shall not hate the brother in the heart, you shall truly rebuke the neighbor and not bear sin because of him. So it is one thing that I want to mention here, בלבבך, in your heart. But the hearts are in here in a plural form. The singular would be בלבך, but here we have בלבבך. How can we have two hearts? So one representing is the Yetzer HaTov, and the other is representing the Yetzer Hara, the positive and the negative inclination. Okay, either we are making decisions through the positive heart, and we can make a decision in negative heart. So lastly, that in this portion we have the laws of the Orla, וכי תבוא אל הארץ וניתת על עץ מאכל ועלתכם עלתו את פריו 3 שנים, יהיה לכם עלאים ולא יאכל. And when you shall come into the land, shall we have planted all manner of trees for food, and you shall count the fruit thereof forbidden. 3 years shall it be forbidden unto you, it shall not be eaten. The first 3 years of newly planted tree are considered very special period. It is a process of strengthening, growing, and maturing, and its capacity is far away from that that we know that the mature tree is. The first 3 years are referred to be as the Orla period. The Torah mentioned that Orla period 3 times, corresponding to the 3 aspects of impurity. ובשנה הרביעית יהיה כל פריו קודש הילולים להשם. And the 4th year all the fruit thereof shall be holy, for giving praise to God. So in the 4th year, the fruit must be redeemed by the priest. So it is produced, must be consumed by the priest. The 4th year corresponds to the Tumah, which is belonging to the klipot of Noga. And the Orla also signifies something else. The same that during the Brit Milah, this is removed, but from the newborn baby boy, it represents an extra element that we must rid us ourselves to be able to later assume sanctity upon ourselves. All of this must be done to achieve the sanctity, the קדושה. ובשנה החמישית תאכל את פריו להוסיף לכל תבואתו, Ani Hashem Elohechem. But in the 5th year may ye eat of the fruit thereof, as it may yield unto the more richly and increase thereof. I'm your God. So the Creator is the source of all abundance, and through him all plans and dreams come true. In the order of nature, the tree renews itself every day. This is the natural process of life. In the order of nature, we also find generosity of the Creator. However, it is forbidden to eat the fruit on the first 3 years. During the time, it is still associated with impurity, which falls under the Orla period that I mentioned earlier. And from the 5th year onward, when the trees are rooted and strengthened, it will increasingly yield above average fruit. So, what guarantees this wealth and abundance from the 5th year? So, it is the fact that we have previously respect to the laws of the Torah and refrained from consuming the fruit during the prohibited period. Then the Creator will reward us for keeping this mitzvah. So, this principle can also be applied universally to all areas in our life. So if we adhere to spiritual Torah laws, that all will be a reward as well. This is the provision of the Creator for its creation. We will be nourished by doing it, by keeping or refraining out of things. So with these thoughts, I conclude the weekly series and see you next week. Thank you. Bye bye.